All right, as we're learning about weather, I want to introduce you guys to a really neat website. You can also download it as an app on your phone, which is pretty handy to have when you're traveling. Just type Windy, W-I-N-D-Y, in the search engine, and then you're going to want to click on windy.com. All right, I already have it opened up on my computer. Check out these flashes. That's actually lightning happening. And what happens is over here on the right side, you have a whole bunch of different layers. There's about 43 altogether. And what I did was I selected weather. And after you select weather, you come down here and you click show lightning and then also sound. So what I can do is listen to it, watch it taking place, and on your phone, it even makes a little bit of a vibration feel when there's lightning strikes. Let's listen again. Okay, so now I'm going to explore around with a couple other things. Like I just clicked satellite, and now I can see satellite imaging. I can see the cloud formations. I see some interesting weather taking place here in what's known as Tornado Alley. Hopefully nothing like that's going to happen. But then I could also select wind, and I can see my wind patterns. Well, we've been learning about wind, our global winds. Let's take a little look here as to what's happening. So you can see the circular patterns taking place, right? The warming of the air from the sun. Things are circulating around here. I can travel over here and take a look at what's happening. Here's Iceland. Notice my pattern, what's taking place there, how things are cycling around. And then the other thing that's pretty cool, what I'm going to do now is click on currents. All right, remember how we learned about the air movement taking place at the equator? Well, check this out. You can see the cycling pattern. We've got the stuff cycling in this direction, and then if we look up above, it's kind of cycling back, and we have this pattern happening here. It's going to zigzag along and come up around the coast. Look what happens as it goes around Florida, up the east coast, kind of zigzags down here. Well, then you've got enough air movement taking place, creating that void, that you've got some air being pulled down from up around Greenland and the Nova Scotia area, right? So we've got some cool stuff happening here that you guys will start to understand as far as the warming of the air, the movement of wind, creating currents, blowing the ocean. And you guys can see these patterns, which takes you back to that story, actual thing that occurred where the boat sunk out in the ocean and the bathtub toys, a lot of rubber duckies and other things, ended up floating around the world, and scientists were able to track the ocean's currents. All right, let's go back to wind. Click on wind, and then I'm going to have you scroll all the way down. And then once we get to the box that talks about display the ice lines, I'm going to have you click on pressure. Now check this out. Notice how with your air movement, you can see the different cells, like where this one is circling around this low pressure, right? We've got some low pressures. Then up here, we've got a high pressure. Same thing, it's causing this movement to cycle around, and it makes like a conveyor belt. Everything's moving from one location to another.